All right, guys, this week we're going to be reading nonfiction texts, and our goal this week is to learn more about a certain topic, for example, reptiles this week, but using more than one source. So I'm going to start off with one book, but you're going to be looking for more books about reptiles so that you can learn more details. There's no way that one book can fit all the information there is to know, so that's why you'll need more. So let's start. Reptiles by Melissa Stewart. Follow along with me. Okay, here's the table of contents, and this over here is all the different topics that are covered in this book with the page numbers. You'll know what a table of contents is in many chapter books, so take a look and see if you have any at your house. Okay, so we'll start with this. Just adjusting to make sure you see everything, and I think you do. What is a reptile? A snake flicks its long tongue as it slithers along the ground. A turtle sits on a rotting log and basks in the sun. A crocodile grabs a fish with its mighty jaws. These are the images that come to mind when someone says the word reptile. Have you ever wondered what makes reptiles different from other groups of animals? All reptiles have three things in common: scaly skin, lungs, and a backbone. Most young reptiles hatch from tough, leathery eggs laid on land and look like smaller versions of their parents. A reptile's scales protect it from enemies and help keep its insides moist. The scales of most snakes feel smooth, but most lizards have rough, spiky scales. The scales of a crocodile are hardened with bone. A turtle's scales cover a hard, bony shell. So here's the picture of sand lizards. When they hatch from their leathery eggs, they're tiny, about 1.5 inches long, so not very big at all. Reptiles breathe air with their lungs. A reptile's backbone does the same job as your backbone. It supports the animal's body and helps it move. A reptile is cold-blooded. It controls its body temperature by moving in and out of the sun. At night, a reptile's body cools down and all its body systems work slowly. Each morning, a reptile warms itself in the sun. When the animal is warm, its body works faster. A snake can dart out to catch a mouse, and a lizard can run along the ground at top speed. By noon, a reptile may start to get too hot. To cool down, it hides in a shady place. And here's a picture. While cooling down underneath a bush, this leopard lizard is also well hidden from its enemies. That's awesome. Okay, next section, a look at lizards. Lizards live on every continent except Antarctica. They live in trees, in the ocean, and on the ground. They glide through the air, scamper up walls, scoot upside down along ceilings, and even walk on water. A lizard's legs and feet can give you clues about where it lives. Some desert lizards have long scales on their toes and can walk easily in soft sand. Tree climbing lizards live in forests and use their sharp claws, like you see in the picture, to grip tree branches. The webbed feet of marine iguanas make them good swimmers. Burrowing lizards spend most of their time underground. They have no legs at all. Lizards have different ways of avoiding their enemies. Some lizards are excellent runners. They scurry out of sight when they sense danger. Other lizards face their enemies. This is a flap-necked chameleon clings to a branch with its sharp claws. A frilled lizard can make itself look very scary. A Gila monster's bright colors warn predators to stay away. Many slower lizards have colors that match their surroundings. See how it blends in? When a predator comes near, they stay perfectly still and wait for it to go away. And a knoll lizard blends in with leaves. A spade-tailed gecko is hard to spot when it rests on the bark of a tree. Other lizards have a special trick. If a predator grabs them by the tail, guys, can you believe this? They drop their tail and run away. Isn't that awesome? Next in our book is turtles and tortoises. So Jawan, you could probably teach us a thing or two about this. Make sure you drop a comment in this video below to tell us something about turtles that we don't know about. Turtles are different from other reptiles because part of their skeleton surrounds their body. We call this hard outer covering a shell. Turtles live in fields, forests, deserts, swamps, the ocean, ponds, lakes, rivers, and used to be at Jawan's house. You can tell where a turtle lives by looking at its feet. Turtles that spend time in ponds, lakes, and rivers have toes with claws. Sometimes they have webbing between their toes. Turtles that spend most of their time in the ocean have flippers. Turtles that spend all their time on land are called tortoises. The toes of these turtles are fused together so that their feet look something like an elephant's feet. Almost all turtles lay eggs on land. Some land turtles can live for more than 100 years. All right, Calvin, I think you're gonna like the next section, slithering snakes. Almost everyone has seen a snake. Most snakes have long, thin bodies and no legs. There are about 2,700 kinds of snakes living on Earth, but only about 200 of them are venomous. Some kinds of snakes wrap their bodies around an animal until it cannot breathe, oh no, in this picture, and dies. These snakes are called constrictors. Some snakes can eat very large prey. The egg-eating snake can unhinge its jaws to fit large eggs inside. Other snakes use the same method to eat gazelle or pigs. Snakes digest their food very slowly and can go weeks between meals. To move, a snake uses the wide overlapping scales on its belly. The back edges of these scales catch and hold onto the ground as muscles inside the snake push it forward. A snake's backbone is made up of hundreds of small bones, so it is very flexible. Most snakes lay eggs in a nest or hole. Only a few kinds of snakes take care of their eggs. Male and female, that means boy and girl cobras, take turns guarding their nests. Most snake eggs hatch after about 2 months. Young snakes are ready to survive on their own as soon as they hatch. Can you believe it? As soon as they hatched and the baby is all ready to be on their own. Some snakes do not lay eggs. Young Costa Rican hog-nosed vipers grow inside their mother's body. When the young are ready to be born, their mother pushes them out of her body. Some kind of lizards give birth in the same way. Okay, and there's a picture of that Costa Rican hog-nosed viper. Okay, up next, crocodiles and their relatives. Many scientists believe that the crocodilians are the closest living relatives of the dinosaurs. This group includes crocodiles, alligators, gavials, and caimans. These animals have long bodies, flat heads, and strong tails. Their powerful jaws have rows of long, sharp teeth. They live in and around swamps, lakes, and rivers in warm areas of the world. The best way to tell the difference between a crocodile and its relative is by looking at the snout. A crocodile has a pointed snout. An alligator has a broad, rounded snout. So kind of like this right here. A caiman snout looks like an alligator's, but it is shorter. A gavial snout is very long and thin. So try to do some research on these 4 types. Because look at their snouts. They're all very different. A female crocodilian builds a large nest on land and lays her eggs. Then she covers the nest to keep the eggs warm. She usually guards the nest to protect the eggs from predators. When she hears the young grunting inside their eggs, she uncovers her nest. Sometimes the young run straight to the water. In other cases, the mother carries them to the water in her mouth. She stays close by until the young are a few weeks old. For their first few weeks or months, a young crocodilian eat insects, worms, and small fish. As they grow, they eat larger animals such as lizards and rats. Adults can eat animals as large as antelope, zebras, cows, or even people. Dun, dun, dun. No, but seriously, very dangerous, guys. Okay, tails of Twatteras. Wow, I've never pronounced that word before, but here we go. The word Twattera means peaks on the back. This lizard-like animal has a crest running down its back and tail. It also has a third eye on top of its head. The eye cannot see objects, but it can sense light. Twatteras live on a few small islands near New Zealand. During the day, they rest in underground burrows. At night, they hunt for insects, spiders, earthworms, slugs, snails, geckos, baby birds, and birds' eggs. Twatteras grow very slowly. They cannot have young until they are 20 years old and may not be fully grown until they are 50 years old. They may live more than 100 years. That's a very unique animal. Reptiles in our lives. Oh, let's see about that. Reptiles play an important role in our lives. In some parts of the world, people eat the meat of turtles and alligators. Lizards and snakes eat insects and small mammals such as rats and mice that harm crops. As we clear land to build homes, roads, and shopping centers, we destroy the homes of many reptiles. Other reptiles are killed so that we can make belts, shoes, and other leather products from their skin. As a result, many reptiles are now in danger of disappearing from Earth forever. We must do whatever we can to make sure that reptiles continue to live in our world. The end. So, remember I told you that you can find out more about reptiles using more than one source. You can look at books. You can look at some websites that you have over here. And so that's the end for this book. You can go back and watch it again if you want to, or you can now go on Epic or on your Kindle or in your own library and see if you have any more nonfiction books about reptiles.